How are you?
Good. Everything came unplugged as I was trying to figure out what the problem was. So
No, it
just
was
plug everything back in.
not on your end. It was
All
on
right.
my end. Mike Garafolo. It's brought to you by Hartley and Hartley Insurance, your trusted family-owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area since 1978. Okay. They've got honesty, they got fairness, they got integrity. You can contact Jamie Hartley at 253-565-8700. Also, Zogs on Fox Island. Perfect spot to grab a cold beer, hang out with friends, and catch the game. Enjoy the Northwest summer. It's almost over. You had the fall. Fall's wonderful here,
Fall's
too.
up in a couple days, bro.
It's right here. Check out Zogs on Facebook and Instagram on their new fall hours.
It's been consistently 80 degrees around here. How's it been? How's it been by you?
It's 65-ish.
All right.
It's nice. I'll take 65. It's fat guy weather. Take that. All right.
Yeah. Doesn't get crazy cold by you though. Like we deal with the 20s down into the single digits. You're at least,
No,
your
we're good.
idea of a cold day is like high 30s.
Yeah, 30s, 40s. Well, but here's the deal, Garafolo. We get 40s in like constant darkness and rain. Okay,
yeah.
And that's miserable.
No, I'm not saying you got it easy. I'm just saying you don't like you've got the cool weather before us now, but then we pass you as we get into winter.
Correct, sir. Hey, let's. Do you have Can we get an update on Ken Walker, if you have it, please? Because I'd love to know what's going on there with Ken Walker.
Well, didn't practice again yesterday, right? So not a great sign here, but I always the injured reserve 4-week thing has become a guideline for if they don't put him on injury reserve, right? It's an indication that he's going to be back within 4 weeks. Like that's been the way it's been since they've changed the rule. So that's my understanding, and it's been 1 week now. He's got to get himself going this week. It's apparently a significant enough, painful enough injury for him that he's very much a question mark for this week, and then I guess we'll see if he doesn't play this week.
It's weird because he left the game and he didn't seem to have any issue. In fact, he was telling the reporters that there was nothing really wrong with him.
I don't know what he said immediately after the game. You're saying?
Yeah, he indicated that it's not really a big deal. Maybe players say that all the time.
As Ian and I say all the time, the worst sources on injuries are the players themselves, because they're either lying or they think like, it's no problem, no big deal, whatever. Yeah, but this is something that we talked about oblique being a baseball injury. When you got to make moves like that and it just locks up, it's a painful thing to deal with.
Yeah, we'll see what they had a lengthy injury report. I mean, DK was on that as well. Just to quickly recap what they did in week 2, and then we'll move on to some of the other storylines in the NFL. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest win, but it's just a gutsy win against a team, Mike, that might be better than people realize in the Patriots.
Yeah, I think they're not as talented, and tonight they're without the left side of their offensive line. So let's see how that goes, the tackle and the guard out. And David Andrews seems like he's going to play, but he's obviously ailing with that hip injury at center. So they're playing tough. They're playing inspired. They've got some schemes that are a little bit different from what people have seen, particularly defensively. So I wonder, as maybe teams start to get some more film on these guys, if all of a sudden, they won't be. I think they'll play you tough all year long. And Jacoby Brissett, coming into the season, I think of Jacoby Brissett as a guy who plays winning football and has in the past, and won games with the Patriots, with the Texans, and so. It's not surprising to me that he is coming into this season and putting them in a position to win. So, I don't. When you say it's an ugly win, it almost kind of indicates like, well, I should have blown that team away. But look, you're coming cross country. I know in talking to Seahawks folks last week, they were saying, "Boy, that's a tough team. It's a physical team. It's a hard playing team," and they got that and everything on Sunday. So to come out of there with a win, you feel good about it. Particularly a team, first year head coach. It's which is not to say that anybody expected them to be 4-13, but to go in there across the country, his first cross country trip as a head coach, and to do a nice job to come out with a win, I thought that was solid.
And I like ugly wins. Okay. I do. I'm a big fan of ugly wins. I do. I don't care how people win games. Like it's just there's this old defensive coordinator. We used to have him on the show a long time ago. He was the old defensive coordinator for the Oregon Ducks. His name was Nick Aliotti. He had this great soundbite. He goes, you know what? Because we were talking about yard. He was the coordinator for Oregon. They would give up a bunch of yards all the time, and for the most part like points, but they would always kind of for the most part kind of hunker down in the red zone. And he just said, you know what? All you got to do is suck less than the opponent. And I was like, that's true. It doesn't really matter like how you do it. I don't get caught up in like yards given up. I mean, it's about points. But they they didn't play the cleanest game in the world, but they're out without Walker. But they still walked out of there. You're right about their first cross country road trip, and they came out with a win. Yeah,
Mike Macdonald's off to a good start. I mean, it seems like they're pleasantly. I don't want to say surprised, but they're just, we'll stick with pleased. They're pleased with the way he's got these guys to focus and kind of lock in now that they've seen it into the regular season. And again, that plays into what I talked about last week, which is those back-to-back safeties and things not going well against the Broncos and really not blinking. And that's, as I cover this league and talk to people around the league, it's like that's something that is so big for coaches anymore is the ability to handle adversity. Like the Eagles talked about that they didn't do it so well in week 2, but they were talking about that week 1. It's like things were not going well early. Last year we buckled all the way down the stretch. Every time things weren't going well early, we dug in against the Packers, able to turn it around. What was the other team that I just covered recently that, the Falcons were feeling that way on Monday night. But of course that game goes differently if Saquon just catches the football.
And you're right. Hold on, stop there. Because then the narrative is, again, he can't win.
Yeah.
And when's Michael Penix going to play?
Yeah. And now we're talking about all the Eagles' problems, right? Like, which, to be fair, that media core down there, even when a team is winning, will ask the tough questions, will hit the hard angles, to the point where sometimes they'll be like, we're 11-1. Why are you people like, you go to these press conferences on Mondays and they feel like, whatever. So they're good about that. They don't write fluff pieces. It's a good media core. You got to have thick skin if you want to play or coach in Philadelphia. So they probably would have anyway, but nationally it's now like, what's the Eagles' problem? Well, they were almost 2-0 and we never would have had this conversation. The conversation would have been, wow, how about those Eagles turned it around?
They're 2-0 if the guy that their biggest acquisition in the offseason catches the football.
Which, by the way, is not to say that I was on board with that call. You don't put the ball in the air in that spot, okay? Bad things can happen. Ball could be tipped at the line of scrimmage. He could drop the ball. The ball could doink off his helmet and pop in the air, interception, pick 6 the other way. Now, you say, you hand the ball off. He could fumble. Yeah, okay, great. Like, we can do that. But there's more things that can go wrong when you throw the football than when not. Now, the counter to that also was, well, look how quickly they scored. Yeah, but if they run the ball, the Falcons get the ball back with under a minute to go. I did the math. It's like 55 seconds instead of a minute 45. That changes everything on both sides of the ball. Mentality, play calls, everything.
I think and then on top of that from that game was the defense by the Eagles. Isn't Fangio the D coordinator, right?
Yep.
What was that? I mean, it looked like he was playing prevent.
Well, he was to a certain extent, and maybe
letting him complete everything on him.
Well, yeah, and maybe you say, the safeties were playing deeper than they should have been, allowing too much there. Which again, it changes with 55 seconds left to go, you're not like letting them get what they were, and you're probably defending the sidelines a little better. They were getting out of bounds on some of these plays and all that stuff. So, that was not great for Vic Fangio. It was not great for the personnel up front. They're not getting after the passer. They gave a ton of money to Bryce Huff and traded away Hassan Reddick. And that does not seem to be working out so well. Their defensive linemen, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, were drafted extremely highly, not having consistent production the way that they would like to have those guys. I mean, Carter's playing all right, but Davis is not. So, they got some issues.
What are we already done with Bryce Young in Carolina now? Is that over?
I mean, they're saying no, and I sort of believe that they believe that. But, Bryce is not happy. If Andy Dalton plays well, when are you going to turn it back over to him, right? I don't think Andy Dalton's going to turn them into a playoff team, right? But if Andy Dalton is under center, things are going to go more smoothly. I truly believe that. And they've got enough talent. I mean, everybody in this league's got enough talent to win a couple of games. So they've got
Sure.
enough talent to start winning some ball games. I just, as we get closer to firstly the trade deadline, and secondly the offseason, I just feel like, and I'm not saying I don't know what Bryce Young has. I haven't been told anything, but at some point he'll probably say, "I need a fresh start. Like you guys mishandled the situation this year and pulled me so quickly. I know what you're saying about we could have a reset, and potentially he could, but." At some point, maybe he makes the move to say, hey, why don't we get me out of here?
Have you already looked at the odds of when Dave Canales will be fired?
Have I looked at the odds? I have not, but I'm sure you got them ready.
No, I haven't. I'm just wondering if you have. No. I mean, what's the likelihood he makes the whole season?
Odds are not. I mean, are you asking me actual odds? Because I don't. We do that on the network, not something like that. We wouldn't put up there, but we do odds on the network. But I don't do the odds thing.
It's not zero.
It's not zero.
Yeah.
It's not zero. And I would hope that David Tepper, I would hope a lot of things for David Tepper, but I would hope that David Tepper would at least have a little bit of patience here and see what can happen. Because if you're firing him early, like what's the point? You're not getting a jump on, you're not going to be the place where people go, well, I got to go to Carolina, So
you think he could tell what are some lessons learned? I mean, I think I saw a headline from Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's where Mayfield basically, I think, is saying to Young, your career is not written yet. You still have plenty of time to change the narrative.
Yeah. So what do you mean? It's lesson learned for Bryce Young or for who?
No, I mean, I think for Mayfield, I think Mayfield is saying to Bryce Young, look at me. Here, I was the guy who technically flamed out, but I've been able to turn it around. You can do the same thing as well.
And we've seen some other guys to certain degrees. So I don't believe necessarily that he's done. Bryce Young came from Alabama, where he had a ridiculous offensive line, where he had targets that people were afraid of, and defensively, and you could manipulate things and move that's what he was trying to do last year. And I remember talking to members of the coaching staff last year who were saying, we're trying to teach him, like, you can't play quarterback that way. This isn't Alabama in the SEC. This is Carolina in the NFL. And we're going to get you targets and people around you, which they may, like they obviously did work on the offensive line, but they may have been able to do better from a target standpoint. And until we get to that point, you really can't. The clock needs to be quicker. Your fourth option is not a real fourth option in the way that you're used to it being. So that's what they were trying to do with him last year. So if you get him in a situation where he's got that again, okay, I remember how to do this quarterback thing. Of course, a lot of times when you get that situation, unless you're Sam Darnold, who just not that he fell into it, but who landed there. It's tough to find those situations because they usually already have established quarterbacks.
Yeah, he looked great. What the injuries mounting? It just seems like there's a lot of injuries that are mounting for a lot of different teams.
Yeah,
and you look, especially in the NFC West. I mean, I can't keep track of how many players for the Rams are hurt. It's like the entire team is hurt, and then the Niners are facing the same thing. You got McCaffrey's out now. You've got how long is Deebo Samuel out for now?
Debo's out. I don't know. What is the timeline on that? That's a good question, actually.
3-4 weeks at least.
Yeah. Well, no. They didn't put him on IR yet, right?
No.
I don't know. I don't know the exact. Honestly, I've got so much going on. I got Jets Patriots tonight. I have not checked in on Deebo Samuel and his timeline, so I'd be lying if I gave you a fake one.
But it's just I guess the comment is that they, like, for the Seahawks right now, how they're playing. This is gravy for them. I mean, they've been relatively healthy, and then your two biggest rivals have mounting injuries left and right now.
Playing each other.
Playing each other.
One of the great tweets I saw this week was from our guy Patrick Claybon, who co-hosts NFL Daily with Greg Rosenthal. He said, Niners, this was like Monday, 49ers Rams is going to be played inside an MRI machine. So I thought that was great. He's a great follow. And it sucks for the Rams because I think I certainly did have higher expectations for them this year. And I know Sean McVay's got to be frustrated as all hell with some of these injuries that are happening and the abundance of them. So they'll keep fighting. He'll make no excuses and try to get him out of this. But, man, it's tough right now.
Hey, I know it's like 2 weeks into the season, but, there's been these numbers that have floated out. Like offense is down, like scoring is down, number of 300-yard passing games is down. Mm-hmm. Influx of just what? Is it lack of playing in the preseason? Is it just there's a lot of young quarterbacks in the league? I mean, what is it? Is there any rhyme or reason to it, or
the
just a coincidence?
the rookies are not doing so great off the jump here. I think Jaden Daniels probably the best of the bunch so far, and even he hasn't hit his stride by any stretch. So yeah, I think that's probably a little bit of it. And the other thing is defenses are getting better. Defenses are scheming things up extremely well, and we talked about the Patriots. That's one of them, and their ability to do things up there. And I just feel like defensively and defensive schemes have caught up to a lot of the things that offenses have been doing successfully. It always happens. I mean, no matter what you see, Wildcat and all this stuff, zone read and the college stuff, eventually defenses catch up on stuff, and that may be what we're seeing here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just been on. I think if it holds like 21 points or something, it's gonna be the lowest since like 2006. Something like that, which is just ridiculous.
Which is around the time they really started to, maybe it was 2004-ish, where they started to really clamp down on the illegal contact and the holding defensively. That really opened things up.
Hey, what's the latest with Jordan Love in Green Bay? How close is he to returning?
Yeah, he's got a shot. So this would be week 2, which means he would have only missed 1 week with the MCL. A lot of times with the MCL injury, it's like, and I remember talking to Sean O'Hara about this. Sean O'Hara, I was covering the Giants, and most recently my colleague at NFL Network, but their center, he missed the first playoff game in 2007 on their way to the Super Bowl. I'm like, how bad were you hurt? Knowing you, like, to miss that, he's like, MCL injuries, he goes, they are god-awful. And then all of a sudden, you turn the corner. He missed the 1 week, and he was back the following week. He said, you turn the corner at, like, day 10. I think that's when they said the number, day 10 or day 11. He goes, that's exactly what happened with me. He's like, woke up, and all of a sudden, it's like, whoa, this thing's much better. And I want to say that was a grade 1 or 2, and, Loves his – I saw something where he's in between a 1 and a 2. What is it, a 1.5? So, that's about the time frame. So it's not surprising to me that all of a sudden I saw the initial 3 to 6 week timeline. I never expected him to miss 6 weeks. I thought 2 to 3 from what I was understanding. So, yeah, for him to be on the earlier side, it's great news for the Packers. Now, they got to make a decision. Do you want a guy who's going to be limited in that he's still not going to be 100%? So do you want a guy who's limited physically, as long as he can protect himself, which will be part of the whole situation here, limited physically, or do you want a guy who's limited from a playbook standpoint, which they did a great job last week? Matt LaFleur did a fantastic coaching job from a motivational standpoint, from an X's and O's standpoint, to draw up some stuff that made Malik Willis confident. So which one would you...
What do we got? You have a bird in your house?
No, it's not a bird.
Is it your phone?
Is it a Vespa? Some guy's unlocking his Vespa. It's some kind of
sound
small,
like a
Vespa.
Vespa. It sounds like a bird.
No, he's like, I guess he has an alarm on the Vespa.
What do we think about guys in Vespas?
I don't mind them. I was going to buy one for us, and I haven't done that yet.
I don't mind them as well. After spending time in Italy last summer, I'm like, yeah. I get it. Easy way to get around.
It's like when Michael Scott goes to Jamaica and comes back and has the beads in his hair.
Yeah,
and he's playing the steel drum, feeling hot, hot, hot.
I think when I came back last year from Italy, I want a Vespa, the shorter pants, and pick up smoking.
Right.
The trifecta.
Yeah, they say it all the time. Those guys over there smoke like crazy, and yet they're not getting
it's unbelievable.
the disease rates that we are over here.
It's unreal. It's unreal how much they smoke over there, and you look at them like, I don't understand. How do you do this? Like every time I turn around, you've got another cigarette in your mouth. You read into anything? There's some stuff with Caleb Williams, and he's going to be a hot button topic probably for his entire career. Some people don't like his attitude, the way he conducts himself and carries himself.
His nail polish, they don't like that either.
That just angers everybody. The nail polish, my God.
Trust me, I hear it. I see it. I don't care.
No one should care. It's him. It's him. It's what he wants to do. But
they're triggered. That's the word.
Yeah, triggered. Yeah, I always think of that one GIF, the triggered GIF, where it's the girl with the glasses and the short hair, and she's like freaking. That's my favorite one. The exchange between him and Stroud. Are we reading too much into that, or yes?
No,
he did look dismissive, like, okay, whatever you say. And Stroud's trying to say, hey man, I'm just trying to give you some advice. And
I
kind of like walks off.
I don't know. I think he was, I think Caleb's had a better vision for how this was going to go. I think Caleb's also tried to do some things that worked at USC that aren't going to work at the NFL level, that he's learning these lessons and hopefully learning these lessons quickly. Because some balls that he used to throw, I mean, he got picked on the same pass up the left sideline twice. One of them got negated by a penalty, if I'm remembering this correctly, the other night. He went back to it and didn't put it in the right spot. It's like, okay, that's a smaller window in the NFL. So I think he's learning these things. There was that play in week 1 where he tried to roll out, and it's like 3 Titans were waiting for him. That's not going to work here at this level. So, I think he's and he's an emotional guy. We saw the emotions last year, particularly after they lost. I think it was the Notre Dame game where he was in the stands, and we saw that. So, he's an emotion on the sleeve type of guy. We'll see how it goes, but you want to start to get some things going. And they got Indianapolis this week. So I hope they can put some points on the board against them.
Well, and then the other storyline, I sent it to you because you've got so much going on, you probably haven't seen it. There's this video and this is never good. This is never good. There's video out there of Rome Odunze's father.
Yes.
Who has apparently gotten, everyone can get this, the All-22 film. And he is breaking down plays showing his son wide open.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you, when a parent gets a hold of the All-22 and starts posting this on Twitter 2 weeks into the NFL season, this ain't good.
No.
Now, I didn't know anything about this because, of course, he's a Washington kid right in our backyard.
Mm-hmm.
But Husky fans were telling me that this does not surprise them. So apparently this dad is like this.
Weren't we worried about Caleb's dad coming in? I guess we were worried about the wrong Bears draft picks.
Does Caleb's dad have a problem too? I didn't know that.
That was the
so we're gonna have
hiring an agent because the dad wants to run the show and the dad's
So you know what I want now? I want Caleb's dad now to go on Twitter to highlight Odunze not getting open. This is what we need, Mike.
His is more behind the scenes. Caleb's dad. So maybe he comes out now. Maybe he opens up an account. Who knows? But
sure, open up an account and let's have dad on dad crime.
But this reminds me of was he in Cleveland? I think he was in Cleveland because it was about Baker. When Odell was in Cleveland and his dad was tweeting, hey, look at this play. And you sent me, is there commentary on it or is it just the clip?
No, it's just the clip.
Okay. So it's
just a clip showing him wide open in the end
I'm not saying anything. You tell me what you see. Like that type of thing.
Exactly right. Yeah. Some are saying it's in response to, I think, comments made by Dan Orlovsky or something about Odunze not getting open or separation or something.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then, you know what? He didn't start it then.
Yeah, but parents don't need to be on All-22 and tweeting it out. It's just not a good idea.
I understand that, particularly when you get to this level. Yeah.
Yeah, come on. This isn't Pop Warner anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's it goes back. Did you see Dion's comments yesterday about how, college players?
Jesus.
What?
Yes, I saw it.
Did you agree with him?
No.
Why not?
This is what they signed up for.
I guess.
You wanted the players to be paid?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then when you pay the players, criticism is going to follow. Don't professional athletes get criticized all the time?
They do. And we say they're getting paid. They're pros. They should be able to handle it.
So are college kids. They're getting paid. The guy's making more. How much is kids making?
Uh-huh.
Travis Hunter's making like $4 or $5 million.
Yeah. I mean, some of these guys are staying in college because they're making more than they would in the NFL. That's for sure. Yeah.
But I would also challenge Dion there. What was said?
I don't even know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think anything was said, Mike. He's just making stuff up.
But it might be social media stuff, right? Like stuff that, so now the media, so now he's taking it as, well, you guys, right? Now, and I don't know, maybe he did see something, but you guys, the media, but when in reality, it may be social media being lumped in with the media.
Correct.
I don't know.
That's what I think. I think
and also the media has now, like that umbrella is so much bigger because there's so many more podcasts and Puck Sports and these things. You know what I mean?
All of it. Yeah. I mean, it could be anybody. It's not like, the actual hard, I don't know what you would call it, not credentialed because some of these places are credentialed.
Traditional media.
Legacy media, I guess is what you would say.
It's a nice way of putting it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. But
I still think from the age, I mean, I was stupid. I was a stupid human being until I was 26. And then I started to get smart. Like 26. Now, that would be halfway through my NFL career, a long NFL career. So sometimes I cover these guys, even the early part of their careers, and it's like, you got to cover them on a curve here, right? Like, because my brain wasn't, and I'm not in the spotlight the way these guys are. And a lot of times these guys come from really tough upbringings, At least I had a stable household. And still, till the age of 26, I'm telling you, like the light cast when I met my wife too. So thankfully that coincided because I had met her before that.
I'm just surprised 26 was. I'm 38, 40 maybe for me. Maybe. I think I'm maybe. Well, I'm still an idiot.
Well, into
my
NFL
wife would tell you
retirement
that I'm.
point. Yeah.
Well, yeah. My wife would say you are the biggest idiot I've ever met.
Yeah.
Which is true. But the Sanders thing. I mean, it was sidetracked here, but
yeah,
like you've seen the video last week, the handshake. I guess this does apply to the NFL because there's NFL teams that are going to look at that and they're going to ask themselves, do we want to invest into Shedeur Sanders?
Oh man, this is going to be one of the all-time combine draft process.
It's going to be fantastic.
I mean,
does Dion come with? Hey, if we draft him, do we take Dion too?
We got Johnny. Right, we got Johnny Manziel. We had Manti Te'o for different reasons.
Hey, where is she?
We've had my colleague Manti Te'o now at the NFL Network. Good Morning Football.
God, who works with you now?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of like the Tebow for another reason. They're all for different reasons. This one's going to be. I mean, I would put this kind of sort of Shedeur be closer to Manziel than he would be for the other two that I just mentioned. But this is going to be some process, man.
My point was going to be, I don't fault what he did after the game. And that may surprise. That quarterback for Colorado State talked a lot of shit all week long. A lot of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He had it coming to him after that game. You want to talk like that? You better back it up. You want to run out of bounds and do the little short thing on Travis Hunter, who might be the best player in college football.
After like a 3-yard gain, too, wasn't it?
After a 3, exactly. You better back it up. Yeah. So I didn't have a problem with how he handled himself after the game. And there's plenty of other stuff that he's done that I have an issue with. Yeah. Not that, though. Okay. Because that dude had it coming to him.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot.
You think he's a top overall pick?
I do not think so. No, I don't. That would surprise me. I think Quinn Ewers, who is not going to play this weekend, if I saw that correctly. Yeah. Arch Manning gets the start. I think Quinn could be up there, and who's the other kid? Beck.
Yeah, Carson Beck.
Yeah. Starting to hear a lot. I mean, I'm not into the draft stuff, so don't quote me on that just yet.
Yeah. You think okay, last thing, and then we'll cut you loose. All right, we went down this rabbit hole, and now I'm in. Dion. You think everyone thinks his next stop, he's going to leave Colorado at some point. He'll probably leave after this year.
Right.
And you think college. What about the pros? What about Dallas?
What about Dallas?
If they get rid of him,
I would
McCarthy.
Not. No, I wouldn't think so. I would not think so. I would think that there would be enough. Because everybody thinks like Jerry's just there shooting off the hip and doing whatever Jerry wants,
That's what I think.
No, Stephen Jones is there. Will McClay is there. Okay. They got a lot of folks there. They go, hold on, let's think about this. Let's not just have, and he does a good job of letting his people make collective decisions. So, I don't. That would surprise me very much. I actually think McCarthy might wind up getting an extension, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right, you're the best. Have fun on the. What time do we see you on TV tonight for Jets and Patriots?
I don't know. 6. We got a fast TV show, free ad supported TV show.
Yes,
the Insiders tonight is. I love fast TV, free ad supported TV. So basically TV. We're back to TV, and we gave it a new name.
I love it. Only we would do that.
So, we got a fast TV show. It's also on YouTube with the Insiders. We're taping it at 4. I think it's up at like 6. Then I think I'm on the network at 6 p.m. for NFL Game Day kickoff with MJD, Rhett Lewis. I forget who else is on, but I'll be on from the stadium, from MetLife, which reminds me, I got to go.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye, Mike.
Thank you, homeboy.
There he is, Mike Garafolo, NFL Network, brought to you by Hartley & Hartley Insurance, your trusted family-owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area since 1978. Honesty, fairness, integrity. You can contact Jamie Hartley when he's not playing golf, Jamie. 253 565-8700. Also, Zogs on Fox Island, Andrew Herzog. Perfect spot to grab a cold beer. Watch his beloved Ducks. You can hang out with friends and catch the game. The summer is winding down, but it's perfect for fall season there as well. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram.